Hey there, pizza lovers. Today we're ditching the delivery and showing you how to create a homemade pizza masterpiece that'll make your taste buds sing. Whether you're a kitchen pro or just here for the cheese, this is the perfect guide to crafting the ultimate pizza right at home. So grab your apron, preheat your oven, and let's roll up some dough because pizza night just got an upgrade. Let's kick things off with the foundation of any great pizza, the dough. Here's what you'll need. 2 cups of flour. Whether it's double O or all-purpose, either should work fine. Next up, you'll need 1 packet of yeast. Whether it's active dry, instant, or pizza crust yeast, this little magic ingredient is what gives our dough that lovely rise. Then, we'll need a teaspoon of salt, because nobody wants bland pizza, right? And for our last dry ingredient, we'll need 1.5 tablespoons of sugar, just enough to wake up the yeast and add a subtle hint of flavor. And let's not forget, we'll also need 3/4 of a cup of lukewarm water and a drizzle of olive oil. Now, let's talk toppings. Today we're keeping it classic and oh so delicious with melty mozzarella cheese and everybody's favorite pizza star, pepperoni. Use as much as you like or as little, the choice is yours. Next up, let's talk about the tools you'll need to bring this pizza dough to life. In today's video, we're keeping it simple and effective with these kitchen essentials. First, we'll be using a mixer with a dough hook to do the heavy lifting when it comes to kneading. Don't worry, if you don't have one, your hands will work just as well. For baking, we have a choice of a 16-inch or 12-inch pizza pan, depending on how big you want your masterpiece to be. Today, I will be using the 12-inch pan for my pizza. To prep the dry ingredients, we'll use a variety of bowls because a little organization goes a long way. A flour sifter will help ensure our dry mix is smooth and clump-free, making for a perfect dough consistency. But you do not need one of these, this is optional. And of course, we'll need a rolling pin and our hands to shape the dough into that perfect pizza base. Lastly, we'll grab some trusty measuring cups and spoons to keep everything precise because baking is a science after all. Now that we've got our ingredients for the dough, it's time to move on to the sauce, the flavor-packed base for your perfect pizza. Here's what you'll need. 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce for a smooth and rich texture. A 6-ounce can of tomato paste to thicken things up and add depth to the flavor. A 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper for just a touch of spice. A 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder to give your sauce a subtle savory kick. A 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder for that irresistible garlicky goodness. 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning to pack in those classic herb flavors. A 1/2 tablespoon of garlic salt to tie everything together with a hint of salty garlic perfection. 1 to 2 tablespoons of oregano. Adjust it to your taste to make it as bold or as subtle as you like. And finally, 1 to 2 tablespoons of sugar to balance out that acidity and add just the right touch of sweetness. To mix this all together, you'll need a set of measuring spoons to keep your ingredients spot on, a mixing bowl to combine all the flavors, and a spoon to stir it into a perfectly blended sauce. Ready to get saucy? Let's bring these ingredients together and create the ultimate base for your homemade pizza. Now that we've got all our ingredients ready, it's time to bring them together. Start by adding everything into your mixing bowl, the tomato sauce, the tomato paste, and all those delicious seasonings. Then grab your spoon and mix it all thoroughly until everything is smooth and well combined. Once your sauce is ready, cover the bowl and let it rest at room temperature. This helps the flavors meld together for an even tastier result. Alternatively, you can transfer your sauce into a jar with a lid. This way, any leftovers can be stored safely for your next pizza night. This recipe makes enough sauce for about 3 to 4 pizzas, depending on how saucy you like your pies. And there you have it, your homemade pizza sauce is ready to go. Now it's time to mix up your dough. First, you will need to start with 2 cups of flour measured out and ready to go. Next, you will need to add the sugar, followed by the salt, and finally the yeast. Once everything's in the measuring cup, pour it all into a bowl and give it a quick pre-mix with a fork. This step helps evenly distribute the ingredients for a perfect dough consistency. Now transfer the dry mix into another bowl using a flour sifter. Sifting makes the mixture smooth and airy, which is key to getting that soft, delicious crust. With your dry ingredients sifted and ready, it's time to add the wet ingredients. Go ahead and pour in the water and a drizzle of olive oil. Now mix the dough thoroughly with a mixer or spoon if you don't have a mixer. Just like that, we're one step closer to pizza perfection. Now it's time to roll out your dough and shape it into the perfect pizza base. Start by sprinkling a light dusting of flour onto your countertop to help keep the dough from sticking and making it easier to handle. Then knead the dough into a ball using the flour as needed. Place your dough in the center of your floured surface and let's get to work. Begin by gently pressing it out with your hands, stretching it into a rough circle or rectangle, whatever shape you're going for. Once you've got a good start, grab your rolling pin and roll the dough out evenly, working from the center outward. Don't worry if it's not a perfect shape. This is homemade pizza, and a little character adds to the charm. Take your time and roll the dough to your desired thickness, whether you like it thin and crispy or soft and fluffy. And there you have it, your pizza base is ready for toppings. With our dough rolled out, it's time to transfer it to the pizza pan. Gently lift the dough and lay it across your pan, then adjust it to approximately fit. Don't worry if it's not exact at first, just press and stretch it to the edges. Now let's create that beautiful crust. Fold the edges of the dough over slightly and press them down to form a thick, sturdy border. This not only gives your pizza that classic pizzeria look, but also ensures no sauce or cheese spills over during baking. Once the dough is perfectly fitted, we're ready for the fun part, adding our toppings. Let's start off with a generous layer of our homemade pizza sauce, spreading it evenly over the dough. Don't go too close to the edges, leave some room for that crust to shine. Next comes the cheese. Sprinkle it generously over the sauce, creating a delicious gooey blanket that's sure to melt perfectly in the oven. Finally, it's time for the star of the show, the pepperoni. Arrange the slices however you like, create a pattern, stack them up, or just let the chaos take over. And there it is, your pizza is assembled and ready for the oven. First, preheat the oven to 450 degrees. Then place your beautiful masterpiece in the oven and let it cook for 12 to 17 minutes, depending on how thick the crust is and how well done you want your pepperoni. And there it is, fresh out of the oven, our homemade pizza masterpiece. Carefully place it on the counter and let it cool for just a few minutes. Trust me, it's worth the wait. You don't want to lose all that gooey cheese to a too soon slice, do ya? Once it's cooled slightly, grab your pizza cutter and slice it into perfect pieces. Take a moment to admire your work. Crispy crust, bubbling cheese, and all that deliciousness. And now, the best part. Time to dig in. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tasty recipes and fun in the kitchen. Until next time, happy cooking.